The Canadian Card Collector here, and welcome back to day 518 of Daily Deck Review. And the deck that we're taking a look at today is the red edition of the Tavern on the Green playing cards from Theory11. So, with no further ado, let's take a look and see what we get. So, this is the third edition of the Tavern on the Green playing cards from Theory11 in that red colorway. There's two other colors, the original green one, and then the ivory kind of white edition as the second edition. But this is the third edition here. So you got that fully red tuck box with that red and gold foiling there. So it is a matte red finish tuck box there. And it is slightly embossed, so you can feel some of the textures there. On the front, it says Tavern on the Green, and you got the NYC New York logo there. So you got the Tavern on the Green logo in the middle with the two sheep there, and there's all that kind of detailing there. On one side, it says playing cards there. Other side, down the side, it says Tavern on the Green. Then on the bottom, it says produced by Theory11. You got a little Theory11 little logo there. And then you got designed by Kevin Cantrell Studios. On the back here, you got the Tavern on the Green logo there, and with more embossing and some more red and gold foiling. There, and then it says Tavern on the Green there. And then for the seal, you got a gold stamp style seal, more like a shiny metallic. And then you got the red, slightly embossed Tavern on the Green logo there in the middle. A little bit hard to see because it's really shiny. Then on the top, it says Tavern. So if I lift that up because it came unstuck, there it just says Tavern there. So we don't really need to cut the seal, but it's tradition on the channel. So I'll push that back down. Grab a Canadian card opener, and we'll crack the seal, even though we didn't have to, but it's tradition to always crack the seal. There. So now that we crack that on the tuck flap, it says on the green. So on the top it says Tavern, and then it says, it finishes the rest of it saying on the green there. So if I fully open it, it says Tavern on the Green. On the tuck flaps here, you got the Kevin Cantrell, no. We got some kind of logo there. I was going to say the Kevin Cantrell Studios, but it looks like there's a P in there. Anyway, and then you got a Theory11 logo there. I'm not sure exactly what that logo is. And then if we take the cards out of the box, on the inside of that tuck box, you can see that you got a gold foil pattern there. So there's that matte red finish with that kind of pattern there. There. That goes all the way throughout. Pretty nice there. They skipped no detail. They even added the foiling on the inside of the tuck box. Pretty nice touch. But now that we took a look at that pretty nice, luxurious tuck box, time to take a look at the cards. And first, as always, we'll start with that background. So here you can see that you got a crazy shiny back design there. It is a mirrored back design. There was the standard white border there. So it is a red and gold foiled back design. Mostly the gold foiling there. But there is some red there that you can see. It's a little bit hard to see the design there. Slightly easier in person there than on camera because it's a little bit hard to see. But you can kind of see that it's a mirror design. It says Tavern there. And the NYC logo there. You got that kind of flower oval design there in the middle. Then you got the two sheep there. And some other little details there. And it is mirrored, so if I flip it over, same design in both directions. But now, for the cards you get, here we got the first Joker. It says Joker there in the black font there. And then you got that gold metallic there. It says a Tavern, and then you got NYC. And then you got the two sheep there with the Tavern on the Green logo there, right in the middle. And then you got a second identical Joker, just with the red Joker there. And they seem to be the same gold metallic colorway. Then you got that fully custom Ace of Spades there, which is Tavern on the Green. You got that big, like, Art Deco kind of style spade there, with the red and white Tavern on the Green logo right there in the middle, there. And then for the rest of the spades here, you got that custom number suits, and the suits and numbers there, with the gold metallic numbers. And then you got the custom spade design with that half and half design, so half solid black and then half gold, and that goes throughout the rest of the spades. Then you get to the custom core cards here, Jack, Queen, and King. And like I said, like they're kind of like an old style, kind of like 20s almost, like core card style there, with like the old timey kind of look. They were like the top hats. They got the women, the queens got like the umbrella style there. The Jack got like a golf club there and stuff. So like more kind of like old school kind of core cards. And they got that kind of red and green colorway with a little bit of gold metallic for the background. And you got that custom ace of, ace of diamonds there. With that gold metallic ink, same kind of styling there. And it says New York, New York. It says built in 1870 there. And then you got that same kind of style with the half and half, the half solid red and half gold. There was that metallic gold there for the diamond, and that same kind of styling for the core cards there. Slightly different kind of like styling for the core cards, like pictures there, like because the Jack has like a cricket bat there instead of the golf club there and stuff. So slightly changed up there a little bit, but pretty much the same. And the same thing for the clubs here. That same kind of styling. There was just slightly like their hats and stuff were just slightly different, but same kind of colorway and styling. And then for the clubs here, you got that same kind of half and half design there. And you got that custom ace of clubs here. There it says New York, New York in the middle. And it says Central Park, New York. There was that same kind of styling with the gold metallic ink there. And lastly, the hearts, Jack, Queen, and King of Hearts. Once again, you got that same kind of styling there with the same colorway with the gold there. Then you got that same half and half design for the hearts. There was the custom heart designs. And then we get to the custom ace of hearts. It says Central Park there. And then you got that kind of flower kind of inspired heart design there with that gold metallic ink. And the last two cards in the deck, you got the Tavern on the green. Little ad card here. It says produced by Theory11 for the Tavern on the green, and then their website there at the bottom. And then you got the Kevin Cantrell Studios logo, or little ad card here. But now that we take a look at the cards there, I couldn't really find out what stock and finish these are here, but I'm just going to guess, because they're usually made by the United States Playing Company for Theory11. So I'm going to guess the air cushioned finish there, or some kind of form of that. So now for the handling. And I gotta say, based off that first spring, these are super smooth feeling. They got a nice flex to them. They're not like super stiff or anything. So the gold like foiling doesn't make the cards any thicker or anything. Like that. And they got that nice shininess, so they'll look fantastic while shuffling. Got a super smooth feel. They feel fantastic. There. And you got that nice shiny fan there. And they're going to look even better when you like pack a card in them with that nice shininess, like shining. So overall, I gotta say there's so far no issues with the handling. Nice and smooth straight out of the box, which is always fantastic. You got like a deck that you can use straight out of the box. Well, any deck you can use straight out of the box. But some just handle super good straight out of the box. There. And as you can see, they definitely Pharaoh. You just gotta slightly push them together. And you got that nice giant fan there. So overall, I gotta say, these are a fantastic deck of cards from Theory11. I would recommend, they're still available, so I would recommend picking some up there. Because they're super classy looking with that red and gold design there for the back design there. Even though it's slightly hard to see the design, but still pretty nice because you can definitely still see all the faces, the fully custom faces. And another favorite part of this deck for me is the custom aces there. Not just the ace of spades is custom, all 4 aces, which we saw, were fully custom there. So they have no detail out on these cards here. So I guess, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed. And this has been day 518 of a daily deck review. And this has been the red edition of the Tavern on the green playing cards from Theory11. And I'm the Canadian card collector signing out. That's the video. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.